Good morning and welcome to our end of term assembly, delivered in a very different way, but hopefully providing food for thought as we embark shortly on our Christmas holiday break. I will start with a short biography. Born on May the 20th, 2336 in Bloomington, Indiana, she was the daughter of a vice admiral and has a younger sister named Phoebe, who was the artist of the family and stayed close to home with her mother. Phoebe's sister was very close to her father, who taught her to look at the universe with a scientist's eye. She was devastated by his death. Her job after graduating was in the scientific field, and she went on to serve on a ship. She took command of her first ship in 2371. Their first mission was to locate and capture a rebel vessel last seen in an area on the edge of known territory. Unfortunately, during this mission, her ship went astray and ended up very far from home. Undeterred, the captain focused on finding a way back to familiar territory, and en route came across various groups of individuals, some whom she was able to help, while others were aggressive and sought to take over her vessel. Along the way, the captain was able to welcome those with a wide range of suitable skills to join her crew, and she did a good job of ensuring that everyone on the ship was able to use their talents to the full, and ensured that they could appreciate and celebrate differences and abilities of their crewmates. The diverse nature of the ship's complement included an ex-offender, people from a range of races and creeds, one who wasn't quite all there, and one who had been an integral part of a large collective, but had broken with that to play a key part in the successful completion of a number of operations. After 23 years, the captain managed to get back to her base, having, sadly, lost a number of the members of her crew along the way. Being very resourceful, she was not willing to accept such losses and made the decision to do something about it. Her creativity, tenacity, and determination meant that she was able to achieve a degree of success through an approach which turned on its head the accepted scientific principles of the time. So who are we talking about here? Well, I'll leave you to work that out, but she is one of my heroines. When thinking about who we can admire, a number of names emerge, each of whom, it could easily be argued, achieved far more than the individual I have described here. I have a book on the shelf in my office entitled The 100 Greatest Women of All Time, which includes the following: Marie Curie, who won 2 Nobel Prizes for her work in physics and in chemistry; Harriet Tubman, who was born into slavery but went on to help slaves to escape to Canada. Subsequently, Harriet worked for the welfare of emancipated slaves. Coco Chanel, the illegitimate daughter of itinerant peddlers who went on to found a hugely successful fashion house. And there are so many others, including Lady Valerie Amos, who has served in many roles within the public sector, along with her recent role as the first female and first non-white person to become the director of a university. Amos was the UK High Commissioner to Australia. She was also the Under-Secretary General for Humanitarian Affairs and Emergency Relief Coordinator at the UN. And there's Dr. Anne-Marie Imafidon, MBE, who is the founder of a social enterprise company which encourages girls aged 5 to 22 to pursue careers in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Prior to this, she worked at institutions including Goldman Sachs, Deutsche Bank, and Hewlett-Packard. There's Malala Yousafzai, Nobel Peace Prize winner, who survived being shot in the face to become the face of women's empowerment, not only in Pakistan, but around the world. And of course, we can't omit the woman who gave her name to our school, Mary Tudor, whose early childhood was characterised by comfort and privilege, but who went on to be classified as illegitimate, was rejected by her father and separated from her mother, unable to be with her when she died. Mary Tudor went on to be crowned queen at the age of 37 and was on the throne for only 5 years. But in that time, she achieved a huge amount. The scale of Mary's achievement is often overlooked and has been deliberately undervalued by some record keepers and historians, who branded her as a religious bigot and a military failure. During her reign, she restructured the economy completely at a time of great hardship and mass starvation. She reorganised the militia and rebuilt the navy. Elizabeth would not have been able to defeat the Spanish Armada without these improvements. She successfully managed Parliament, keeping it under control and ensuring that they followed her will, which was no mean feat for a female with no political training or experience. Queen Mary was a woman who knew what she wanted to achieve and achieved a lot more than some writers might have us believe. She worked hard. She was organised in her systems. She developed her skills and responded strongly and constructively to setbacks. So, as we come to the end of what has been a really challenging year for everyone, we can reflect on the tenacity, determination, and grit that all members of our school community have demonstrated throughout the various times of lockdown and self-isolation. Many families in our community have suffered loss during this period, and we stand with them as they mourn. This Christmas is going to be very different from the norm. For me, I will not be able to spend time with my granddaughter, who is now 2.5 and is able to understand and speak both Italian and English. My interaction with her will be confined to WhatsApp calls when she takes me into her play tent, where we sing together, and I ensure that the wolf that is outside doesn't come in by shouting loudly, "Go away, wolf!" Our Christmas dinner will be a small affair, and we won't have our usual family disco dancing session whilst washing up the dishes. Nevertheless, the real focus of the Christmas season remains where we recall the birth of Jesus and consider the impact of that event on the world. At least COVID can't take that away from us. As I come to a close, I wanted to thank everyone, staff and students, for all your efforts to make a success of school life, despite the changes we have had to implement. And as I usually do at this point, I want to remind you of the start date for students next term, which this year is Tuesday the 5th of January 2021 at the normal time. I always ask that you come back safely to us, and I think that sentiment is so much more meaningful this year. So, have a good break, but above all, have a safe and blessed Christmas. Thank you.